everyone, it's Renee with True Path Consulting, and welcome to a segment of Connected Parenting. And today we're going to talk about anxiety in kids. In my other world, I'm a children's mental health therapist. I've been doing that for 13 years, and I would say one of the biggest issues that we see come through is anxiety. And depending on when you're watching this, right now, when I'm recording this, we're going through the global pandemic, which of course is going to raise anxiety in general, but especially anxiety in kids. So I'm going to talk about where does anxiety come from, how does it develop in kids, and then some things that we can do to help kids through that. So anxiety mainly comes from genetic factors. So if you are more of an anxious person, or your child's other parent is anxious, or they're somewhere in your family, your child's more likely to be anxious. There is a big genetic component to anxiety. I know it runs in my family. My dad was anxious, his mom was anxious, my kids are anxious, I'm anxious. So it really runs in families. So that's a big factor. Also, it can come from modeling. So if you or your child's other parent is anxious, kids pick up on that energy, right? They pick up on, ooh, like maybe I should be afraid of this too if my parent is, because they're in tune with you, and survival instinct kind of kicks in, and they pick up on what kinds of things are scary and to watch out for. So if you are feeling anxious, then they're probably gonna pick up on that as well. And also, if things have happened in their life that have been scary or traumatic, if they've been through major events that have legitimately caused anxiety. Anxiety is a normal thing. It's necessary for us to feel anxious at times, right? Because that alerts us to danger. It becomes a problem when there is actually no danger, but we're still feeling anxious, right? So there's a difference between normal anxiety. Like right now, it's normal for everyone to feel a bit of anxiety because things are uncertain, things are new, we're not sure what's happening. There is kind of a legitimate danger to some people. So anxiety is normal. So what to watch out for is when anxiety in your kids is affecting their everyday functioning. So they're not able to do schoolwork, or not able to sleep at night, or they're crying constantly, or they can't participate in normal activities. When it's really disrupting their life, or it's causing like an abnormal amount of distress, then it's time to have a look at it. So there's all different kinds of anxiety. There's separation anxiety, social anxiety, generalized anxiety, all the way up into OCD kinds of anxiety, and then into more severe types of anxiety too. So in this overview, I can only give you kind of a brief synopsis, but if you're feeling like your child is really more in the severe range, really important to go to your doctor, get a referral to a child psychiatrist, talk to a mental health professional or a therapist, and definitely get some help, because anxiety is actually quite treatable. So it's important to get help, and get help early so that patterns don't set in. So how you can help your child if your child is quite anxious is to, number one, if you are anxious, get help for yourself first, because the techniques and strategies that you learn are going to be the same concepts that someone would teach your child. So if you know how to manage your own anxiety, you're going to be able to teach your child how to manage their anxiety. And also, like I said, kids pick up on your energy, right? So the more that you're able to calm your emotions and manage your anxiety in situations, kids are going to look to you to decide whether something is safe or not. So that is really number one, is to have a look at your own anxiety and get help for yourself. Um, yeah, because kids are, I mean, when kids are anxious, I know for myself, if my child is feeling anxious and they're distressed about it, my anxiety starts to raise. And so if your child's getting anxious and you're getting more and more anxious because of it, you're not going to be of much help to them, right? So kids also learn through co-regulation. So if you're able to manage your emotions, then you can automatically start to help your child manage their emotions, and you can do it together. So that's really, really crucial. Okay. Then sometimes kids will ask for lots of reassurance, like ask lots of questions. What's happening? And are we going to be safe? It's important to answer those questions truthfully. You want to be as honest as you can with giving age appropriate information. You don't need to go into full on details about things. If there's a situation in your family or, global events or things, you don't need to go into massive amounts of detail about things. Just give the basics in an honest, just kind of straightforward way. But you also want to reassure them too. End it off with something reassuring, like, I'm here to take care of you. We're listening to doctors and scientists to make sure that we're safe, and just end it off on a positive note. Sometimes kids will kind of go overboard with asking questions. If their anxiety is really heightened, they'll ask constantly for reassurance. And it is quite important for you to not always give into that those questions, because it's almost reinforcing anxiety. So you want to, again, answer briefly, but you can also set some limits on it. You can also say, you know what, we've already talked about that. Let's go do something different. Let's go, do some breathing exercises, or let's go, outside for a minute and just Distraction works great with kids, especially younger ones, well, older ones too. But just go do something different, distract. You can also kind of set a time aside if you find that your child is worrying excessively throughout the day. You can say, you know what, let's set aside a time that we can really talk about all your worries all at once, and then the rest of the time we're not going to talk about it. You can still have your worries, but we're going to just set aside that time that we can really talk about it, but on other times we're not going to talk about it. And you can figure out what works best for you and your child, just kind of experiment and see what works best. I find bedtime is a time when kids bring up a lot of worries. One, they're trying to stall to not go to sleep, but they like that special time with you. And when kids lay down to relax, they tend to worry more. They're not distracted by other things, so their brain starts going into overdrive. So it is good to just lay with your kid at night and talk about the good things that happen during the day. Maybe address a few of their worries, but really keep it on the positive and the reassuring note before bed. Just saying briefly, yeah, we're all safe and everything is good, and we're gonna look after you. They kind of want to know those practical elements too, like what's gonna happen to me, and so it is good to just say you're taken care of. Mommy or daddy will be there, or grandma or whoever's taking care of them will be there for you no matter what, that kind of thing. So there are lots of techniques, mostly cognitive behavioral therapy techniques that will work for you and also for your child if you're anxious as well. And so they'd be tailored more to, kid level. But if you have any questions at all about anxiety or some other strategies. I mean, there's a million strategies. I can't go into everything in this short segment, but definitely reach out to me and I can point you in the right direction, or I can help you with more strategies to help your child. So I know this is a time when we're all feeling a little bit anxious. That's normal, but we're all here to support each other. And yeah, reach out definitely if you need some extra help with that. Okay, so I hope you guys all take care and have a great day.